Hi, it's Mike Stevenson here. In today's video, we're going to take a look at an approach where the DevOps team is building a solution with Terraform, but the FinOps team needs to apply their own metadata outside of the DevOps process. And we need the DevOps team to be able to allow the FinOps team to be able to do that so they can achieve their outcomes and kind of reduce the friction between those two teams. So let's jump in and have a look at an approach for how to do this. So here, I've got a sample Azure resource that I've got some tags on. So if you notice, I've got two tags created by an environment. And those tags are created and managed by my DevOps team doing deployments. Now, if you imagine in the organization, we've got a separate initiative driven by a FinOps team who are trying to get costs under control. And to help them, they need to put some metadata on some resources. And the problem is, if we have another team adding tags when the DevOps team do deployments, tools like Bicep and Terraform are often going to remove those tags. So we need to find a good way to make those teams able to work together. So what we've done, over in my solution here, I've got this Terraform folder, and there's a list of steps that I'm going to work through. So a lot of these are going to be the normal things you would do with Terraform. So we'll do an AZ login, set our subscriptions, set the, do Terraform init and validate. And then what we're going to do is we're going to break up where we do the plan and apply, and we're actually going to put an archive in here of the tags on the resources in this resource group we're going to deploy to. And then we're going to basically restore the tags down here afterwards. So I've kind of got this little PowerShell script up at the top, which will kind of achieve this. So in this video, we're going to have a little bit of a look through the steps to go and do that. Now, before we jump into the PowerShell script, I just want to show for anyone who's not as familiar with Terraform, what would happen if I deploy a change right now. So here in my Terraform script, I've got this storage account that we're managing with Terraform. So if you notice, the storage account already exists in Azure because I've previously deployed it. And what would happen is down in the tags bit down here, so you'll notice these are the tags that I'm managing with Terraform. So if I go and deploy here, any other tags are going to get automatically removed by Terraform. Now, there's a couple of ways we can handle this, and the first way I'm going to look at is how you can do this natively with Terraform. Now, what I can do here is I've got the lifecycle management of the resource in Terraform, and I've got this ignore changes option here. And what I've said is I can ignore the FinOps team tag, which I've already got put on the resource outside of my Terraform process by the FinOps team. So anytime there's a tag with FinOps team, that's just going to get ignored by Terraform, and we'll just leave that alone. So what we'll do, if we just run this through for a second, so if I just do a couple of my commands here, so if we do, for example, Terraform apply, and this is going to take a second to just validate the state, but we'll see what Terraform would like to do to this resource right now. Okay, so we've got some information before we confirm to apply the change, and the key bit is here where we've got the tags. So because the lifecycle has ignore the Terraform team tag, we do also have this department tag where Terraform is going to set the value to null. So that'll basically remove that tag from the Azure resource. So while the Terraform ignore changes is really cool, what it means is that every time the FinOps team adds a new tag, they're going to have to get the DevOps team to update here to basically tell it the additional tags to ignore. So obviously you can see how that's going to become a pain point where, all it takes is a breakdown in that communication, and suddenly the DevOps team doing deployments are going to start removing tags. Now, it's probably a good practice over time. You'll evolve a company standard, so you could have all of your teams ignore specific tags, or even better, you could have the teams actually add the tags on behalf of the FinOps team. But that's going to, if you think of a scenario where your project's already been running for 6 months before you start doing this, there's going to be all sorts of like prioritization challenges that are just going to really hinder the FinOps team being able to make any progress on their objectives. So let's have a look at how we can handle this. So here, before we start, I'm just going to delete this archive file from when I last ran it. So we'll cancel the Terraform apply here. So what we'll do now is if we go back to the README here, so we're going to run the archive command. And this basically what I'm doing here is I've got, I'm telling it a resource group. And sorry, if we go back up here, so I'm telling it the resource group. And I'm basically saying, look, there's a bunch of tags with the FinOps prefix. So anything that starts with the word FinOps, we'll just archive it and restore it later. So you can see as we go down the script here, we found 2 resources to scan, and we found some tags on those resources matching department and team. And we've basically archived them to this JSON file over here. Okay, so if we take a look at what's in the JSON file next, so you'll see we've got, at the top, we've got some information about when it was ran, what some of the settings were, and then we've got a list of the resources here and the specific tags we want to archive. So we've just archived just the ones that that match the settings. So, for the DevOps team are going to deploy any new tags, or they've got any existing tags that aren't part of that prefix match, and the script just ignores them and leaves them out alone, because we want the DevOps team to be able to do whatever they like with tags. We just want to save the FinOps ones before the deployment and restore them afterwards. So you can see now in this file, I've got a nice backup of these FinOps tags across all the resources. And then what we'll do next is, if we go back to the README, so now we would do our Terraform apply. So I know when I do this apply, we know that it's going to remove that tag that the FinOps team put on, and we just accept that that's going to happen because we're going to restore it afterwards from the backup we took. Okay, so that's completed now, and if we go if we go back to Azure here, if we do a refresh, we should have seen the department tags now gone, but we've still got the team tag, which was part of the Terraform ignore. So next we go and use the command to restore the tags that we backed up. So we can see here it's just running through. You can see we've got, sorry, let me correct that. So you can see here we've added that one department tag. You can see here that the team tag already exists, so we just leave that alone. And you can see further up there was another resource. So I've got another demo using biceps. This is a storage account that's not part of my Terraform script. So even though it's in the same resource group, because of that, the script's just checking everything in that resource group to make sure the tags are okay. So if we change this, or if we left it alone, it would still correct that one in as well, even though it wasn't part of the script. So if we go back to this resource now, we should be able to refresh that and see my department tags being put back on there. Team tags still the same, so that's fine. And hopefully, what I'm hoping is this script just gives you a really easy way where if the DevOps team has this scenario, you can kind of not really change too much of your existing process. You just drop the backup and restore in your pipeline either side of the Terraform apply, and then you'll be able to see, just preserve those tags, and it'll have minimum impact for the DevOps team, but allow the FinOps team to innovate and kind of get those costs under control. I hope this has been a useful video. We'll be doing a bicep version of this video as well, so hopefully that'll help people out. Thank you for listening today.